Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report on Christmas. Celtics get an emphatic win over the Bucks, 139 to 118. Separate themselves late in that fourth quarter through some Giannis struggles and a triumphant performance for Jayson Tatum, who finished with 41. Great efficiency overall from the Celtics and him in this one. They finished 59% from the field, just under 50% from three. And Tatum led the way by taking 11 shots in the paint, 7 from three, shook it up from his usual 9-9 split there, and got aggressive getting into the paint, even against a Bucks team that really likes to take that away from its opponents. What did you see from him that allowed him to be able to break in there and finish at the basket as well as he did against the tall trees?
I just think he did a really good job of just reading the defense. Coming out of halftime, you saw he was just mental. The way he was focused and attacking the Bucks, it went a long way. I mean, look, 20 points in that quarter alone. Yeah, you can say that was the cushion the Celtics certainly needed, but also it was a statement. I mean, for however amount of time these two were on the court together between him and Giannis, he was the better player, and it wasn't even close. So I think that in itself is significant when you think about the Celtics team, what they're trying to do. And obviously the Milwaukee Bucks have always been that team that people are like, well, don't forget about the Bucks. Don't forget, about the Bucks. They're still in the mix there. Sure, they don't have Chris Middleton right now, but I still think the Celtics have to continue to progress as a team. And I think they've ddone that. And I think this is evidence of that. And if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you really have to start thinking about how they can become a better team, strengthened without Chris Middleton, because you look at where they are against the Celtics right now. The Celtics, I think, are better. They're just a better team. I think obviously Jayson Tatum is the biggest reason for that.
That showed up for sure. You think of Marcus Smart's contributions. Jaylen Brown didn't have his best game, but was still aggressive. And then Al Horford still spacing the floor at a high level.
Oh man!
Some bench guys stepping up. I thought Brogdon was better early, and then Hauser hit that long shot at the buzzer. That was about all his contributions amounted to. And you had a mix of bigs on the floor, including Rob, who didn't play as much in this one, Blake, who mixed in, and then Cornette late in the game. So overall, this is the Celtics starters getting it done. Bucks had some good performance up and down their lineup. We'll get to them in our next video. But back to Tatum. 5 for 5 at the rim. Love to see that.
Yeah.
10 shot attempts in the further out in the paint, and one long two that he missed. Just great shot selection from him in this one. I think your point about him reading the game's good. Him and Smart got going in that two-man game. They had a couple finishes in that in the second quarter where he threw down the monstrous slam on Giannis, as well as another good look.
This place went crazy.
You think a transition, those are good looks for him. And then got into his mid-range bag a little bit. And I've always said I don't love that shot for him, just 39% through most of his career from there. But against the Lakers, even tonight against the drop, he made good use of it, and they got shots from different spots on the floor, even though they did hit a lot of threes tonight, too.
It's reading what the defense gives you, Bobby. Yeah. And, with that being said, he was finding other guys, too. This thing was contagious, the offense, and we've seen the Celtics do that before. We obviously saw who they were the first month of the season, historic offensively, but the way Tatum is handling himself, getting guys involved, finding guys in the corner, open guys who aren't afraid to take big shots, it's big. I do think it's relevant, and even when it seemed like Jaylen was sort of fading to the black, he comes in big in that fourth quarter to help, Tatum while he was on the bench. So I think the Celtics, maybe they're a little much more top-heavy in this matchup, but I think we know what this team is depth-wise, and we know that they can show out against any team, especially against a team like the Bucks. So that's significant as well.
Yeah, and stacking up wins against his rivals in the MVP race, whether it's Giannis, Jokic, they beat the Mavs pretty handily, and Luka.
Going toe-to-toe with these guys, yeah.
So he's stacking those up. They even beat the Lakers, if you consider Davis a candidate as well. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. He's pretty much beaten all the competition in that race except for Donovan Mitchell, if you think he's in that race, which he certainly should be. So great performance individually for Tatum. Team-wise, it all came together, and they looked pretty connected and dynamic when they were out on the run in this one. So credit to Marcus Smart, just 4 shot attempts, 8 assists. Joe said he was one of the better players on the floor in this one, and he got a lot of credit in the locker room. Where did Tatum stand on this one in his post-game presser?
Just appreciating the moment. Obviously, it's a special day. It's Christmas Day. Deuce is here. The vibes were positive, as he put it. And I asked him about the dunk on Giannis, and he said, look, most of the time you want to lay it in, but in that situation he thought just to go all the way, and didn't really say a whole lot more than that. But he also talked about how how meaningful this is. Growing up, he used to watch all the games just like we did growing up. You know, you hope that one day, if you're Tatum, right, you're able to play on that stage and come up big, and that certainly was the case today. So he talked about that and playing the Bucks. And one of the quotes that really stood out to me, which is something that we kind of talked about, I don't know if it was on camera or off, but I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, how Giannis pays attention to what's going on in the NBA. He's one of those guys that watches the scoreboard or watches the
quotes?
Well, no, not only the quotes, but he watches other teams. I do believe that. And now we can say the same thing about Jayson Tatum. He says when the Celtics aren't playing, he's watching the Bucks. He's got his eyes on them. So that's
said
big.
He didn't though last year, remember?
Yeah, but see,
he said I can't watch basketball.
He's maturing now. This is big, okay? Kobe would do this, Jason, right? You know, making sure that you're up to speed with the teams that are around you in your vicinity. And the Milwaukee Bucks are certainly one of, if not the biggest threat for the Celtics this season. So I loved hearing that from Jayson Tatum. Again, it shows his maturity, and he's just continuing to show why he's on pace to be MVP of this league for sure.
We'll talk about Giannis in our next video. Of course, we're brought to you by Rocket Money. Head over there. Right after your holiday season,
yes.
You might have signed up for some subscriptions.
Save some money.
You didn't want to keep for another month. Before we move into January and that thing resets on the 1st, go over to rocketmoney.com/garden. See what you signed up for. Get rid of what you don't need this new year. Maybe keep some stuff at a lower rate. I always like that tool that they have there, and just see what money's coming in and out of your account each month. A lot of money management tools over there as well. I know we talk a lot about canceling subscriptions, but there's a bunch of different good tools over there.
Right, it's not just that.
For managing your money. That's rocketmoney.com/garden. And another great way to start your new year, athleticgreens.com/garden. It is phenomenal powder with vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, probiotics, the whole list you can look into. You can see the reviews as well on their website. People love this stuff, not just us.
And you feel the effects.
For nearly a year.
Like a few weeks into it, you really do feel the effects. But of course, you got to do it daily. You got to keep that going.
Yeah, and it's easy every day. Water and Athletic Greens, combine them, and you're good to go for the day. A lot of this stuff you'll get individually throughout the day. You get it all in your one scoop, and they'll throw in 5 free travel packs, as well as a year's supply of vitamin D when you head to athleticgreens.com/garden. That's athleticgreens.com/garden. Tatum, 41, keeping the 30-point per game average going. Only a handful of guys left doing that this year, and depending on where you stack it up, one of the MVP leaders as he wins again against the chief rival in the East. Celtics knock off 2 straight. They're back at it against the Rockets here. This homestand continues on Tuesday. We'll be there. We'll talk about Giannis in our next video on Celtics All Access. CLNS Media for Josue, Pavon, Bobby Manning. We'll see you on Tuesday.